Hey everybody, it's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to my show. Today's video, I want to talk to you about the big three cruise lines that are trading on the stock exchanges here in the United States, namely Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and Norwegian. Boy, have these shares taken a hit in the last few days, but in the last couple of months. We'll get into it in just a minute and what the ramifications are. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, Traveling with Bruce, everybody. I really appreciate the subscriptions. You're putting faith in my channel. Thank you for giving my videos thumbs up. So I really appreciate that too. And getting comments. I love getting your comments. A lot of you are starting to follow me on Facebook, which is fantastic. I have a Facebook group page called Traveling with Bruce. Come on over there. We hang out there between shows. And a bunch of you are following Jennifer and I on the Instagram page for Traveling with Bruce. Jennifer runs that. And man, are the followers ever coming in, and I think it's fantastic. All right, let's talk about the shares. I'm going to start off by talking about Royal Caribbean. Take a look at this chart right here. This is just off of my telephone. Thank you, Yahoo. Thank you, Google. If you'll note on the left, the red line up there, it's telling you that a little over a month ago, or well, in the last 3 months, the shares of Royal Caribbean were as high as $135, $136 a share. They closed tonight, this is March the 5th, 2020, they closed tonight at $65.78, down $12.80 just today. These shares are literally 50% lower in price since January of this year, not even 2 full months ago. This is absolutely stunning. And it is an amazing thing to see that a company of this size, multi-billion-dollar monster, is taking it on the chin. Here's the chart just today. The stock opened lower and kept on going. You can see it closing down $12.80 to $65.78. Aftermarket, it came back a little bit, but that doesn't really matter. It left last night at $77. It didn't even trade at 77 or 79. It didn't trade at 78. Didn't trade at 76. It started trading under $75 a share and just kept going down. The investors out there in Wall Street have figured it out. They have finally put two and two together. They realized, they are beginning to realize now, if the company cannot get its passengers to its ships, they can't take a cruise. They can't get them home. How are they going to go in the first place? And if they're on a ship and someone gets ill, this could affect everyone else on board the cruise. And this is a worldwide phenomenon, not just in Asia or in say off of the coast of Alaska or in Europe. This is completely global. And cruise ships used to say, well, you know, if there's bad weather in one part of the world, we'll just go to another part of the world. It's not uncommon for a tornado or hurricane to hit the Caribbean, and the cruise ships don't go to certain island countries anymore because of the bad weather. They go elsewhere. Yeah, that works. But when an entire cruise can be put on a quarantine or a lockdown, that affects everything. And now investors are figuring out there's an Achilles heel here for this cruise line. If you can't sail ships full of paying passengers, the cruise line can't make money any other way. They don't have a secondary business. Here's the chart for Carnival. Again, over the last 3 months, on the bottom of the chart, you'll see December, January, February, and March. And the stock was even higher than what you see here. On this chart, it shows it as almost as high as 52. I think the stock hit a high of $56 in the last year. Closed tonight, $27.87 a share, down $4.59 a share just today. That doesn't sound like much, but when you start at 30 and lose $4.59, that's 12% in one day. That is not good. Carnival, of course, owns Princess, and Princess Cruise Line has been taking it on the chin. One bad news item after another. They own Holland America, they own Cunard, they own P&O. They have 9 different cruise lines, and Carnival is really taking it hard here. Here's today's chart again. This one, like I said, down $4.59 a share. It closed last night higher than what it even traded at. It was upward around $33. and you can just see it open today around 30 and a bit, and just kept coming down and down and down, and it's not good. Again, investors and traders out there are bailing on the cruise shares by going to the sidelines, getting their money out, and taking a real hit. These are multi-year lows. We're talking about prices for these companies' shares now. Probably haven't seen this neighborhood for several years, and going to make you wonder. I know Carnival, they're only trading now at, they're less than, I think, 8 times earnings, but if the earnings are going to be cut in half, then it really doesn't matter, does it? Very, very nasty market trend. Stockbrokers also keep an eye on other things. These companies are all leveraged with debt. This is how they're building brand new ships. And it wouldn't surprise me that if a company's shares reach a certain level in price as they are dropping, you have to understand, folks, if there are a million shares outstanding and they're trading at $1 a piece, the company's worth $1 million in capitalized value. If there are 10 million shares out there and they're trading at $1 a piece, then it's a $10 million capitalization. We're talking here about companies that are trading, we're trading at $57 to $135 a share with millions and millions of shares outstanding, billions of dollars in value. These companies have lost over half of their actual perceived market cap value in the last 3-4 weeks alone. And this is probably kickstarting all kinds of penalties that might be coming in to the bond issues that these folks have raised, where they've raised a whole bunch of money to build new ships and to refurbish old ones. They could be paying higher interest rates because the value of their company has gone below certain parameters. Can't guarantee that, but that could be in the paperwork. Here's Norwegian stock, down 441 today, closing at 28.59. You can see the chart here. In January, the stock was upwards of $60 a share, over half lost. I mean, more than 50% price drop from January to now, and this is less than 2 months. The one-day chart for Norwegian is right here. You can see here, there it is. She closed at about 32, and it went straight down at the opening, kind of leveled off for a little bit around $30 a share, then cratered again, hit into the 28 mark, and just could not recover all day long. Like I say, cruisers are avoiding cruise ships right now. Investors are avoiding cruise ship stocks right now. And those folks out there who've booked cruises that are going to start 6 months from now, 8 months from now, a year from now, a lot of these folks are calling up the cruise lines to cancel their cruises because they still can without a penalty if they cancel early enough. I was talking to a viewer of mine earlier today who was telling me that he had some questions about a cruise that he was looking to take. He still wants to go on his cruise. He waited on the phone for 2 hours and 10 minutes before someone picked up the phone to talk to him. And after getting the answers that he needed for his cruise, he was asking the agent, how come you're taking so long to be able to get to my call? 2 hours, 10 minutes. And the agent said, I'm really sorry about this, but all of us at the call center here, we are completely jam-packed with calls. I've got 7 or 8 waiting for me, and almost everyone calling is calling to cancel a cruise. And they have to go through all of the paperwork and all of the rules and regulations on cancellation fees, if there are any holdbacks of dollars or not. And in some cases, passengers can cancel and then rebook something else, and it's quite complicated, and they need a bit of time, each one of them, to figure out what to do. And so 2 hours, 10 minutes hold time just to talk to an agent, whether you're going to cancel or not. It's just unbelievable. Let's say, folks, cruise lines cannot sail away to a place where passengers are guaranteed not to get ill right now. That's the problem. And the other issue, of course, is you start a cruise in one port, you go out to your 10 or 12 or 14-day cruise, and when you come back, things have changed so much at the port that you started at that you may or may not be able to go back to that port and offload your passengers. This is not good for the cruise business. Cruise lines love to set up short excursions all along the cruise for every day that they're on the cruise, and they like to get their passengers back to where they're supposed to get to when the cruise is over, because chances are people have their cars parked there, or they have airplane rides to take to get back home. And cruise lines do not like nasty surprises where they return or try to return to a home port, finding out they can't. They have to go to a completely different home port and now arrange all kinds of new flights for everybody and hotel accommodations while flights are being sorted out. That is costing cruise lines millions. And yeah, cruise lines have some business interruption insurance, but it's a fraction of what we're finding here, what they're experiencing right now, and it's really costing them. So the investors in New York have made their verdict known as to how this is going right now. They're not impressed with the overall marketplace for cruising. They're not excited about what's happening right now and what the prospects are going forward for the near term. And so they've made it be known that they'd rather sell their shares now at whatever price they can get and wait in the sidelines to decide maybe down the road to get back in. Is it the right move to buy shares right now in a cruise line? Maybe, but maybe not. It all depends on how long you've got that you can wait for a return on your investment. You buy shares at these multi-year low levels, it might be a good time to buy, but you might have to wait a year or 2 or 3 to see a return. On the other hand, the shares might react positively in the next 2 months, and you could do rather well. It's hard to tell in the middle of all this activity right now. Anyway, there is a recap of what's going on in the share price world of the big three on these U.S. exchanges, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and Norwegian. We'll try and stay on top of all these developments, and we'll talk to you later, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.